The Burning Truth with Casey Hendrickson.
Sorry, that crap just frustrates the hell out of me. I mean, it really does. You sit there, you go out there, you make this, okay. You remember when we discovered that both political parties in Washington, D.C. had a secret fund that they were putting money into? And this fund that had taxpayer dollars funneled into it. Taxpayer dollars that you thought were going to the official function and inner workings of the House of Representatives and the United States Senate. Your tax dollars were being siphoned off of legitimate purposes and being put into a secret fund that existed for decades without us knowing about it. And that fund was used to pay off people who were sexually abused and or harassed by members of Congress. The Republicans used it. The Democrats used it. Now, when this was discovered, suddenly party leadership, all new leadership on the Republican side now, the same ones on the Democrat side, comes out there and they go, this is wrong and we can't have that and we're going to make reform. They all knew about it. What makes it worse is that not only was there a secret fund that was created using our money to silence victims of harassment and abuse by members of Congress, and it was used many times to pay people off for their silence. Not only that, the fund exists, you paid for it, it was kept from everybody, and it was used to silence victims. Besides that, each party knew who was accused. Each party knew the accusations against the person who was accused. Each party knew that the victim was paid off. Each party knew how much the victim was paid off. And each party maintained a status of secrecy in not telling anybody publicly about the member of Congress who had abused somebody or harassed somebody while they were a member of Congress. They didn't tell the world about it. Besides that, when those people ran for re-election, folks, they didn't tell the voters that that person had been accused of this and that that person had accessed this taxpayer-funded secret fund to pay off the people that they allegedly abused. So if you had a Democrat, I'm citing one very specific example now. If you had a Democrat who was harassing a staffer that worked for them, and in order to buy that staffer's silence when the accusation is made, $10,000, $20,000 was given to said staffer. Okay, just go away, leave Washington, D.C., stay quiet about it, here's some money. When that Democrat ran for re-election, the Democratic Party didn't use it to get that Democrat to resign. The Republican Party didn't use it against that Democrat in the electoral process, letting the voters know that that person was accused of this and had paid off an alleged victim. Nobody told you a thing. And this went on for decades. Both parties were actively covering up the sexual abuse and harassment of members of Congress for the other party. And they did this because there was this mutual agreement. Hey, we won't tell the world about your people abusing people if you don't tell the world about our people abusing people, and we'll just keep this all in the down low. And that's exactly what they did for decades. Both parties hid it from everybody. I understand. I'm a partisan. I have my beliefs. But at the same time, there are certain things that are universal, should be universal, that we should all agree on. When I tell you it is them versus all of us, this is a prime example. The Indiana Democratic Party doesn't give a damn about the women in their party. You realize that entire statement? The entire statement was, we're just the Indiana Democratic Party and we don't have any influence over what the Democrats in the state Senate do when they vote for their leadership. We're just kind of here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know anybody's ever run for office, ask them what the party gives them so they can run. Ask them about the training that the party offers. Ask them about the software that is provided to the candidates by the party. Ask them about the database. Ask them about the maps of voters to knock on doors and all of the emails and contact information from previous donors. All of those things are given to them by the party. So if the party wanted to mess with anybody in their party that is not doing good things, we'll say it that way, I guess, all they have to do is go, listen, you're not going to get access to the database anymore. We're not going to put money into your advertising. We're not going to make signs. We're not going to do any of this for you when you run for re-election. You just admitted to harassing 3 women. Yeah, you've issued an apology. That's fine, whatever. But you should probably resign because we're not going to help you run for office again. So if you do stay, which is your right to do, if you do stay, you're on your own. The Democrats aren't helping you anymore. Oh, and furthermore, the Democratic Party will not be inviting you to any official functions. You will no longer be able to sit on any committee that the Democratic Party has any influence on. And they have influence on every one of them. They're not in the majority, but they still have influence. All the Democratic Party has to do is go to the Republicans, even in the minority, and go, listen, this guy is a pervert, and we don't want him on any committees. Please don't appoint him to any committees. And the party is the ones who makes that recommendation. You know, the party makes the recommendation of who should be on those committees. The problem is that it's the party leadership in the body. So in the Senate, this guy who's now admitted to harassing 3 women is going to make those recommendations because the state party is just, hands off, not our fault. Ha, 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 ha. We have nothing to do with this. Yeah, sexual harassment is really bad. You should report sexual harassment to people like when it comes up. And then when people report to the Democratic Party about sexual harassment that comes up, the Democratic Party sweeps it under the rug. And they organize a campaign of intimidation and silencing of the victim. Just like they did with State Senator Niezgodski. Just like they did with Hogsett and Hogsett's right-hand man. They cover it all up. And you got McCormick out there, whether she's naive or not, I don't know. You got McCormick out there going, we're the party of women. We're going to fight for women. We're going to do this for women. Women are victims this and women are victims that. And it's like your party is literally victimizing women right now. Hey, are you serious? You actually serious about this? They were told numerous times about victims of Democrat politicians. The Indiana Democratic Party was. They didn't respond to media requests about it. They didn't respond to social media comments on their posts about it. They ignored every single one of them. The Indiana Democratic Party was made keenly aware that numerous party officials, elected people in the party, had committed these heinous acts, and they chose to support their reelection campaigns. They chose to endorse them. They chose to help them get reelected, and they chose to cover up their abuse and hide it from every Democratic voter, every independent voter, and yes, every Republican voter who may have been considering going to the other side just this one time. They hid it from everybody. And now they want to issue a statement and going, yeah, it's not our fault that this pervert was elected as the Democratic leader in the state Senate. Yes, it is, because you didn't wield the power that you have. And that's because, truthfully, folks, they don't care. the Indiana Democratic Party views him as effective. I don't know how they view him as effective. Maybe he's got information on somebody. I don't know. He doesn't seem very effective to me. He's been in the role since 2022. Hoosier Democrats, has this guy done anything good for you in the state Senate? Has he had any success for you that you can just ignore the fact that he's admitted to blurring the lines with 3 women who have accused him of sexual harassment? So why does the Indiana Democratic Party, why are they so keen on keeping him in that leadership position? Especially when they lost one of their other leaders who stepped down because she couldn't in good conscience serve with this guy, and then a woman ran against him. So if you're a Democrat listening to this right now, you have some questions that you need to have answers to. I would suggest having a conversation with your party officials. Hey, how is it that the Indiana Democratic Party covered up sexual harassment and abuse of women by elected officials in this state? Why is it that the Indiana Democratic Party did not wield its power to force this 10-member caucus to not vote for the pervert who is admitted to wrongdoing? Why is the Indiana Democratic Party making excuses for this person being reelected into a leadership role when they clearly could have influenced it? Why is the Indiana Democratic Party out there supporting the reelection campaigns of Democrats that are known to abuse the women that they come in contact with? Why are they funding their campaigns? Why are they supporting them? Why are they giving them logistical support in reelection? Why are they endorsing them? Why are they doing everything to help these candidates? Why? I'm willing to bet the Indiana Democratic Party doesn't have an answer for you. So if you're a Democrat right now, this is a question you need to ask. You should see the comments under this thing on X. You should see them. Absolutely shameful, guys. This is why we don't win. What happened to believe all women? Why aren't you going to get rid of him? Your sauce, it is weak. Very weak response. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going. Particularly you women who vote Democrat. This is a multi-year issue with them that we have exposed on this show consistently. They do not care about you. They only care about the people that they think are influential, that they think are effective, and they're going to put them in power. Doesn't matter who they abuse. Doesn't matter how many women make the accusation. They're going to sweep it under the rug just like they did with previous cases that we told you about in April. The county party and the state party remain keenly aware of both of those circumstances, and both times, 2 different counties, the same state party that issued this press release chose to hide it, bury it, sweep it under the rug. Got more coming up. You're tuned into The Burning Truth. Well, it's not just Kamala Harris putting her head down and getting to work. The Morning Joe. Do you think that they were smart enough to buy knee pads before they went to Mar-a-Lago, Morgan, or do you think that they both have sore knees right now? I just... MSNBC's Morning Joe host Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski triggered their lefty viewers after announcing over the weekend that they went to Mar-a-Lago and they had a discussion with President-elect Trump. The translation for that is, we kissed the ring of the man who the left and the media have called worse than Hitler. Look, I know that I want to go hang out with somebody who's worse than Hitler, right? Don't you, Morgan? Don't you want to hang out with that guy? Somebody that you have literally gone on your program and said he's going to throw us in prison and he's going to kill people and he's going to be a dictator. I know that I would like to go hang out with that guy. Wouldn't you? It's a really nice golf course.
Is that actually the verbiage that they use?
They have used that stuff, yes.
Oh, my gosh.
So, I mean, why not? Now, keep in mind that these two swingers, that they were big fans of Donald Trump before Trump was president. Big fans. They had him on all the time. They got along. They were friends. Trump has said that some of the people that he was most surprised about turning on him were them because he thought he was pretty close with them. The rapid about face compared to what we've seen in the last few weeks and months is pretty amazing. But then again, it's pretty obvious that somebody at the top of the MSNBC echelon decided that something needed to be done about this. Now, this is twitchy. So let's take a look at MSNBC's ratings since the election. Now, again, as I told you yesterday, part of this is going to be election fatigue. People are still out there shaving their heads, doing blue bracelets, trying to figure out how to move over to Blue Sky, this new social network that I'm sure totally won't have a bunch of pedophiles on it. And they're trying to figure out how to do all of that stuff, and then they'll come back to MSNBC later when Trump actually takes power. Joy Reid's ratings are down 54.6. Ari Melber's down 49.6. I know you're all like, who? Chris Hayes is down 47.2. Alex Wagner's down 53.6. The Morning Joe down 39.6. Stephanie Ruhle down 67%. Andrea Mitchell down 39.7%. All on MSNBC. So they got some rug burn on the kneecaps. Desperately trying to make nice with somebody that they demonize as one of the worst human beings to ever walk the earth. And of course, their leftist base is furious about this. But honestly, here's what it tells you, folks. Either they were lying to you all through the election, or they can be bought. In either case, you shouldn't trust them, right? More coming up.
Podcasts by Federated Media.